Hello and welcome, I'm Pheasant. This is the third in a series of zero difficulty runs with days aimed at people that are wanting to try the Spirit for the first time and see some of the things you can do. So game one, spoilers for the previous two ones, so do watch them in order. Game one, we saw Dahan shenanigans. Game two, we saw, oh, we've got no plan, let's get a moon major, and then let's synergize with that with the other major at our moons. Um, let's see what we get here. So we haven't looked at these at all yet. Let's see. Okay. So this is an interesting thing. We do have a defend, but it's only mountains and jungles. And it's only a 3 defend, so we might well use this, and it's fast fear. But we don't have kind of full darn defend shenanigans in play. Not with only 3. Okay, what else have we got? We have got, so in terms of elements, we have far fewer friendly elements here than in the previous game. We've got some moon. We've got air is often really critical to grab out in a sun turn. So I'm glad we've got a couple of air cards. Swarming wasps, a personal favourite, but probably not that useful. Ooh, we've got one of my favourite powers. Okay, very interesting. We are not placing our own blight though, which is just inefficient. Paralyzing Fright is just super powerful. It's yeah, and it has an air as well, which is relevant. Even just the one element that matches us is pretty relevant. And thresholding it is we can play stasis for part of it. We still need to find another Earth to do so, but we've got minor powers that are pretty useful potentially here that have Earth on. So that seems like a fairly obvious thing to maybe play at some point and maybe collect Earth cards so that we can maximize the fear generation. But in terms of like a bread and butter, how do we kind of run this game? We could use. I like focus. It's a bit expensive for us, especially as we've got no minor powers that generate energy. For us, yeah, all out of this selection. Entwine power. I actually the other. I've actually got many days runs recorded. I have used this before in the early game as a way of just bulking out what I have, and I think this is actually a pretty good turn one play potentially, especially as we have not great elements here. That's quite tempting. We can do that. Wrap though is potentially quite interesting. The sun air is good. It's not too expensive. Okay, so I'm going to click on this so we see what our open explorer is. It's wetland. Okay, so we're not exploring in with the blight. So turn one, do we have any cards that just kind of do something useful on the board this turn? Shadows the Burning Forest just sneaking in there, being a useful little friend. Of course, adding a beast is the best way to improve everything. But we don't have any beast powers. These mages, we do have Prowling Panthers. These are both potentially candidates to just kind of leave to their own devices while we do stuff on the board. Though we can't use Shadows of Burning Forest anywhere relevant this turn. Dark and Tangled Woods is going to be... Oh, it might be relevant here. But again, that's a kind of... We can just grab it when we need it. It is pretty tempting to go with a turn one Entwined. The only way we have of placing our own blight, if we are thinking about using focus, is Poison Land. Completely irrelevant in terms of elements, but but the trouble is we can't play this turn one. We just can't raise the energy. Well, no, actually, we could play it turn one, but it would be bad. But would it be bad? Yeah, I think it would be pretty bad. We could deliberately let this land go so there's more blight on the board. Yeah, I do. I think that's not a great look. I think I'm going to go with a turn 1 entwined. I think that's my plan. I quite like it. So we will grab it and we'll forget poor time sideways. I like my major powers though. I think they're good. I mean, Wrap and Paralyzing are some of the best ones, and Focus and Poison I like because I like bad things. So yeah, we need the energy, and then we will just be gaining as much time as we can, and we're just gonna be playing into Entwined Flower. So relocating our presence. I think I'm probably going to relocate. So we've got sacred site access to all of these lands. If I put my presence in here, it's a bit risky, but it's fine. Unlike in the second video, where I missed that I had denied myself access to one of my lands, that won't be happening in this one. So let's entwine power, and we'll be looking to gain minor powers this time, and maybe major powers next time. And this also is just going to add loads of cards into our Days That Never Were. Do I want to add? Yes, I do want to add minor powers because okay, now we're cooking with gas. What? Because when I gain majors, I've already forgotten Poor Time Sideways, which is what I need to play. Which is what I would normally forget for a major. Okay, Delusions of Danger is a no-brainer pick here because it's perfectly on element, which gives us a lot more kind of longevity. This is a nice way of us adding Blight if we want to lean into Focus, which is foolish, but, you know, it's about style, actually. You know, anyone can just close that a game with a clean board. This also has the Sun. It does add Blight, which I personally like. Quicken is probably a better pick if you're just picking a really good card. So in this situation, we do add the other cards to Days That Never Were. So we'll put Light Calls to Lycan there. And although we do have a Sacred Site, we're not... Yeah, this does enable shenanigans. We will take it. We won't take Drought. I'm just pretending to be into blighting the island. Okay, so we could make this into a Sacred Site if we have a Moon turn. So given that we have our good friend Focus and Land's Anguish in the discard pile, it is mighty tempting to just let these two go. The adjacencies don't work perfectly, but we could drag them into here to this blight here and this blight here, and if we threshold it, we would be able to just clear this land. And the island would still somehow be healthy, which of course repulses me on a deep level. But I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. We could get to 3 plays, but then we wouldn't be able to afford it. So yeah, cool your jets, Pheasant. Cool your jets. So we won't be focusing. Yeah, let's not go with deliberately blighting the island. Let's go with things that are a bit more palatable and sane. So we could just wrap in here and have a nice counterattack. We could then let this blight, and then potentially we could focus at some point and kind of clear this board out from the back. This, I think, would be quite nice for a Quicken. And we could just set up a load of Dahan in there with Blur, or even kind of use some cheese with Blur. Blur? It's like Blur, Blowhigh's cousin. Yeah, should we be relentlessly sane about this? That's the sound of bitter disappointment there. It's still pretty expensive, and it doesn't do... We're spending a lot of energy to not do a lot. We're far from finishing our tracks. I think I'm going to trust my instincts and let these go. I think. And the nice thing we have is we can actually use Blur this turn because we have Delusions of Danger to we could use this to basically grab Blur out of our bin next turn. So I'm thinking Blight. And maybe we try and keep the island healthy after that. Begrudgingly. Actually got quite a nice Shadows of the Burning Forest here. And we could just make this into a very built up land. So I'm thinking, yeah, cheap. It's a cheap turn. We're not going to spend too much energy. We do need to move a presence, so we need a sacred site in here next turn, but we also need a town in here, a presence in here this turn. So we're going to just do that, and we are just. Do we care about the third play? Do we want to grab a bit of energy while it's easy? Sure, if we do, we're just playing Shadows Blur this turn. Shadows Blur, so we will get to reclaim Blur anyway. We will have the right elements to do that. Can we squeak something else out? Another card that does something useful. I suppose we could squeak Delusions out for some fast fear. We could just prevent this build. Though I kind of want to generate the fear here. No other builds getting prevented. Yeah, I think we've only got 2 plays, so I think I will gain 2 time, and I will gain 2 energy. And we'll go Shadows, Blur. And Delusions is enabling us to get Blur next turn. Yes. Okay, so we're doing this in the slow to push this stuff into here. And we are going to blur the Arc of Years to push in here. Now I need to calculate this right. They're going to build a town. And this is really about milking. Yeah, so we want 2. So they'll build a town. Then they'll ravage, but we'll have to fend 10. Then we can counterattack and kill the city, do 1 damage to the town. They'll build another city, and then we yeah. So we don't need to repeat it. 2 is enough. I guess there's a chance that the event will kind of get us. Actually, the disease might kill a Dahan. On that basis, I will repeat it. So, yeah. So we'll do that. So this should mean that even if we lose a Dahan... Oh, but is this too many now? Yeah, this is too many. It's fine. I think clearing this is so valuable to us that we just want to do it. And we do have a 0 cost slip here, so we may as well grab Blur again. Okay. So transmute the worst is... I always transmute the worst. That's just kind of my deal. We are not really running with beast powers. Let's discard Quicken. We do need to be kind of somewhat conscious of our energy as this spirit. So I will discard where I can. And I'll discard this. So having Delusions has already just kind of powered me up in all sorts of cheesy ways. We don't have fear cards, so the beast here isn't going to do anything. This land's going to be totally clear. So let's add a beast over here. Oh yeah, and we did lose a Dahan. So if we lose the Dahan here, we go down to 3. Which still means we'll be full clearing it. But loan to hunt on their own are risky. So let's just take the full clear and we'll lose this Dahan that's on the edge. And gain an energy, lovely stuff. So we have the double blight, that's deliberate, I assure you. Now we have mountains, okay. Alright. And I had pheasant. What are you like? What are you like? So we do have these. We might have good milking opportunities here, except this is... They're going to build another town. So that will mean that I can milk a extra city out of this. Yeah, great. Okay, so we are getting milky. And we're going to be playing these three to grab everything from the discard pile. So we'll be grabbing Quicken from the discard pile and playing it. So how do we want to do this most effectively? We need the Sacred Site. We could do that either with Moon or Sun. Is there a Sun card that we want to kind of squeeze in this turn? Or just grab for a future turn? This is overkill right now. Let's be real. We could... Yeah, we've got just useful things here. Something else that might have been nice is to get more presence in here, but yeah, I can't see a way of doing that for shadows. That's a lovely reclaim from the bin, but we could potentially... No. We can't guarantee that we're going to be able to use that. Okay, so maybe we want a fourth presence on the board. Yeah. Or is this a good opportunity to grab one of these mages? We could forget shadows as well this turn. And grab Wrap, which is just going to be useful every turn forever. I feel like we could do the utility minor power, maybe. Yeah, let's go with, especially as I'm skirting so close to the edge of a blighted island, for reasons that escape me, I will look at a new set of minor powers. So let's see what we get. Okay then. Wow. So that's an interesting mix. We have... These are just great cards for us. Don't have beast mages or things that really use other tokens. Carapace's Land is just fantastic though. It's so good. We do have Paralyzing Fright in our days, so things that are air, earth, or particularly earth, but air, earth can help if we're going a bit off-piste. We already have access to making things fast. We've already got kind of moony cards to do that. So I think we value the earth element stuff. This is... Yeah, we're not interested in this. So it's either Hazard or Carapace. This has... And then what about other mages we might be picking? Sun, Air, Animal. Carapace has Animal, which is relevant for Wrap. These are both just really good. I think we'll just go Carapace. It's just a great card, and we'll add Hazard Spread. Is there anything slow? I mean, the trouble with this, it is a pure Sun card, so it will be a bit of a hassle to make this fast, and Sky Stretches is just a very easy way of doing that. Hazard Spread. Yeah, we'll grab that. It might be clutch. I mean, I hope not. I hope not. But you never know. You never know. So we'll... Okay, what are we actually planning? We are planning to... Yeah, we do need the 3 plays. And we do have the option here of spending a time to get the extra plays, but I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think unless you're planning an absolute monster turn, I just don't think it's good. Just don't rate it. What I mean by monster turn is you have 12 energy, you have 6 cards, you know, that kind of turn. So yeah, we're forced to play this because it's a moon turn. Because we need that 3rd sun. Okay, so we could just stasis either of these. Oh, we've got Delusions of Danger as well. Let's do some maths here. So this is currently a 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually, if we defend 10 here and blur, this actually gets up to a 10 attack ravage, but it's a huge counterattack. We want to, if we are doing 8 damage in the counterattack, we want to leave a town alive so they build another city. So that's 3, 4, 6. So an extra explorer just helps our cause. Right? Right. So we'll push this in here. We're preventing this build as well. Then we need to slip. And... Hello? What am I missing? Oh, it's like... No. I thought for a second I was missing an element. I'm not missing an element. Let's look at our event. Oh, I'm a big fan of this. I always weave lies. In everything I do. Oh, that's actually not true. I hate lying. I hate it. It's rubbish. We'll grab Quicken, and we'll play Quicken, and we'll play Quicken, and we'll defend 10. So now we should have a good bit of cheese going here. Just going to see what else we could be grabbing from the discard pile. Nothing will be living in this land, and we actually have a pretty poor distribution in terms of where our presence is in different land types. I don't want to gamble and waste the time to grab shadows, but maybe Entwined Power could be interesting. Do I have much forget fodder? I mean, I guess these two are forget fodder. I could grab and play Entwined Power. In terms of our tracks, we're looking pretty healthy. Could look at some more mages. Forget these two. That's very interesting. Or we could grab some more minor powers. We can do the kind of some of the shenanigans from game 1, the hard shenanigans with Quicken and Blur. Or maybe we could just close the game out more quickly with some mages. And we also have Stasis to think of too, which actually doesn't really do anything this turn. Or nothing we want anyway. We could just use it as a very expensive isolate, but I don't like that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's slip. Let's reclaim Entwined. Let's play Entwined. We then are going to go in quite low on energy here. This is way more YOLO than it needs to be. If we have a sun turn this turn, we'll be going to a sun turn with Carapace land. We do have a good defend here. So we could just have an odd turn where we're just pretending to be someone else, where we Carapace land and play a major that we grab this turn. In which case we don't really care about elements. We could play a bit more conservatively and just grab a load of minor powers. That's kind of partly why I was thinking Entwined, because our support minor powers are a little bit imperfect. But where's the fun of that? Let's grab some mages. I feel like I doubt any particularly new players are watching this, but if they are, I feel like newer players really could benefit from just grabbing mages when they get the chance, because they're pretty powerful. Well, well, well. So some of these are pretty unpopular mages. I actually quite like this card. Can I threshold it? I mean, probably not next turn, but I'm forgetting Shadows of the Burning Forest. Flowers is great. It's a little bit expensive for us. Next turn, we'd have an energy income of 2, and we could just go all sun and just play flowers with Carapace. We wouldn't get the threshold, though. But that's... Oh, we would be grabbing a minor power. So... we don't have perfect elements to accompany this. But we could grab Sky Stretches and do it quickly, which is overkill. I think all of this really is overkill. There's no way around it. I think we grab this. It is actually a perfect element card as well. We will lose past returns and days that never were. We'll stick wins in there. And, I mean, arguably, I should be sticking one of these in there. I'm going to take Wounded World because I like it. I like what I like. Okay, so now we can marvel at the choices I've made. And we can blur in here. Let the magic begin. So, we want to kill the city. And we want to kill a town. And we want to kill those 3. So they're going to build another city. We can push these. So, given that we're not really my whole original idea of focus the Land's Anguish, we're not doing that. So I'm going to push these to Han somewhere where they might clean up. So I'm going to push them in here. And then I am going to spend the time to repeat. So now they clear. And we get more to Han, and I will push these as well. I don't like pushing them in with the disease, though. But it might mean that they just kind of clear this land from a fear card. And there are no cities on the board, so this Lone Dahan isn't at risk from cultural assimilation. We have Stasis. The thing to remember with Stasis is it does cost time to use. So you don't necessarily just want to be kind of just throwing it out there. We do have a free slip, and I'd forgotten about that. Which means we could reclaim one of these for next turn. Next turn is a turn where this town is being built and there are no ravages. I wonder if I can threshold this next turn. The issue is the 3 plant. I mean, we do have 3 plant cards, but that's too expensive. Too expensive. Could just use... We could just use Wounded Wilds in here. Or here. Okay, so we are... Yeah, so we can't threshold this. This threshold's also very, very hard. So I think we're just slipping something to play next turn. There will be this to defend, potentially. We could stasis there, and then it kind of takes care of itself, but it feels like not a good use of time. I suppose it does free us up to just be destructive. But we've got Carapace. What are you talking about, Pheasant? Okay, we'll just grab... Mutter, mutter, mutter. See, here's where it's interesting. With a card like Flowers being perfect element, it means that if I did a sun turn and grabbed a moon card, I would be able to reclaim one of these cards, but I wouldn't be able to play it. What did I just do? Oh, I've already done this. Let's not do that. That's ridiculous. I'd forgotten that I'd already slipped the third time, even though I clearly had. Okay. So we're not going to stasis. No more slippage, please. Here's a different event. It's not the one I thought it was. Oh. This is actually a tricky decision. I value Dahan having defend, and I actually have to forget this to pay for it. I think that's worth it, though. That's definitely worth it. And there's no counterattacks this turn anyway, because I've already done all that with the blur shenanigans. So let's change and help, and we'll forget Flowers. Because these here are kind of my essential toolkit, whereas Flowers is not. And I have to forget something as well. Forget Wounded Wilds. No one likes Wounded Wilds, but I like Wounded Wilds. I think I'll forget. Actually, I don't need Carapace land now. So tricky decision. I always forget about the other cards you have to forget. Yeah, we can live without Entwined Power. Okay, we're pushing a disease nowhere. And we are not doing that. And we are skipping the lowest build, which does nothing as well. Okay, but there will be defend next turn, so this land should take care of itself unless the event card boosts the damage. So now we have some wetland builds. Ooh. Ooh. So maybe it is time for Focus the Land's Anguish to shine. But not really. I think we just use Wounded Wilds. Do we have a companion card to threshold it and generate a very absurd amount of fear? So we need Plant Fire to combo all of these. Do we have Plant Fire? No. No, that's the clean version of what I would have said IRL. This is like the radio edit of Pheasant Jibber Jabber. So we can't threshold this, but we can just use it to do a lot of damage somewhere. So how much damage would it actually be? There would be 2 Badlands in there with 2 Beasts and a Blight. So it'd be 5 damage. It wouldn't actually clear that land out, which is annoying. It would... Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. There would just be Explorers in there, and they would just be in there with Beasts and Badlands. But we're just not generating very much fear. But I think it's still a worthy project. It's a bit of an odd... It's like a... Yeah, we're having a turn where we're just doing something else. If we... we could actually slip in Swarming Wasps. Or, in fact, Prowling Panthers, but Prowling Panthers just cost more. If we slip that in, then we will clear enough of it that should resolve. So, moving. So the card I'm thinking of grabbing is Swarming Wasps. Moving a presence. Let's just make it so we've got a Sacred Site adjacent to everything. We're only in lands with 2 Dahan. Let's gain some time. Actually, this I'll gain 1 time, and I'm gonna gain bunch of energy. Actually, I think it might be better to just gain all energy on this case, because we're spending quite a lot of money, and this will give us options. Okay, so yeah, the Carapace is doing nothing for us. It's not helping us threshold or anything like that. So we'll bonk a beast in here, setting up the Wounded Wild to do something. Here is this card, which I knew was coming. We're now in the greatest air shortage. I could pretend that I deliberately chose wasps for this, but that would be a lie. A good player might have deliberately done that. Okay, we'll take a free beast, sure. Put them on the coast. And wilds, we will put in with this blight. So that's a bit more awkward. Did the vent boost the damage and I didn't notice? Oh yeah, Weave Lies boosts the damage and I didn't notice. Okay, so we'll clear the town and we have a blighted island. Oh, which one is this? Ooh, this is a brutal one. And it won't come into effect till next turn, so I'm not going to benefit from it right now. Okay, so this doesn't quite clear this land, but this new blight card has kind of changed everything, because it destroys presence in that land and in the adjacent land and destroys beasts. So I am thinking now that actually I'm going to want to stasis this next turn. Maybe I'll just take the clear here. I can't set up a sacred site there. I don't have anything that boosts my range. I suppose I could kind of wrap and combo that with... No, I can't do that. So yeah, this doesn't clear... Let's just... Yeah, it doesn't clear the land. So with that in mind, I am not going to go in there. I'm going to go in here and clear this. And we can use stasis in here. Or potentially fast damage. Oh, focus. If focus goes in there, we need 2, 3, 4, 5 damage. It doesn't quite do it. Damn it, focus. We can, of course, Carapace land in there. So, because of the beasts, we don't even need to put presence in there. And I guess the question here is, do we just air? That's probably the right pick, because it means we have all our tools. This is a 3, 5, 7 damage ravage, so Carapace is not enough now. So we need to do more than just that. So I think probably just putting it on stasis is the thing to do this turn, or we could Paralyzing Fright it. Seems a little bit unnecessary. But it does at least advance the fear deck, actually. In fact, it advances it almost all the way to 3. So that would be a sun turn. The issue there is we won't threshold it. Yeah, okay, so I can't grab that this turn. Let's go air. And we are gaining time. We will gain from plays. Okay, and we are going to stasis this turn. So the thing to bear in mind is I can't stasis and then go in there. Like that, this land is just out. We can't do Jack Diddley in there. Literally nothing. No, come on, we must have a way of addressing that land in the fast phase. I suppose Winds of Rust and Atrophy is enough defend and removes the city. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's a bit of a weird turn. for no real benefit. Yeah. Yeah, and there's no way we can squeak this out fast because we can only get one of these cards at a time. So I think we are kind of forced into a air turn, and we will go back up to 3 plays. I suppose we could Delusions of Danger to push an Explorer out, and then potentially we could be repeating Carapace land. We could actually go all out this turn. I just realised we could go with playing our kind of power cards, like our enablers, and then what we could do is we could double play Carapace. And push, and it's such a good counterattack. It feels pretty worthwhile. Of course, the Ravage could be cancelled. Yeah, sure. I feel like Stasis is probably a better move. And we could generate some nice fear as well. Or if we push this, then we don't need Carapace, but it's so risky. Because the Blight overflowing with this Blight card is so horrible, we can't risk it. We just can't. And because we don't have complementary cards here, we don't have the option of blurring, so we are reliant on the game to actually let us Ravage. But yeah, it's a high reward. We're not reclaiming. Play Carapace. Carapace in here. Slip again. Reclaim Carapace. We'll play Carapace. Put it in there. So this in theory should be enough to clear it, but I am going to spend the time to repeat it because I want to make sure if there is a Ravage that it doesn't happen. And then we've got the option here for Stasis. I mean, we could prevent this town build, which means that if there is a normal Ravage, then there's literally just one town left. It still feels one town left on the board, but it still doesn't feel like a good use of time. Not that, yeah, there's been some odds. It's been a bit of an odd one. Okay, so yeah, we're already addressing this depleted soil issue. Push up to 2 explorers or a town from a land with beasts. We don't want to push any of these. But we do want to push this town, and we can push it to its death. So yeah, sure. Just quickly, sanity check. We have enough defend. In you go. Have fun in there. Okay. Yeah, we don't have stuff on our coast. So we've cleared all of that noise. And we've won. Okay, so... yeah. Oh. So what have we learned from that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, it won't let me undo, so I guess we have to press the finish game button. Yeah, that was pretty funky. Pretty damn funky, but I think one of the main things that these games illustrate is that you don't have to calculate everything out kind of super precisely to beat difficulty 0. You don't have to. I mean, you can if you want. You know, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. We saw the benefit of having a perfect element card. It meant we could kind of forget other stuff. Did we stasis at all that game? I can't remember. Wounded Wild, of course, being a little bit disappointing, as usual. Quicken, though, meant we could do shenanigans. I feel like it's so powerful that if you can enable a little bit of that, it's just that extra fear boost, clearing the cities, really good. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll catch you in the next one. I think I'm gonna not record anymore unless people request more. Okay, because I feel like we've covered the basics of early Dahan stuff, a little bit of kind of building to a major, and then whatever the hell this is. So, so this little trio, this is the first trilogy. Request more if you want more. All right. Bye.